All right, welcome everyone to another Spotlight video. I'm so excited to have Kim and Liz with me today. They have been the editors on this project, and I'm just going to go ahead and let them dive in, share a little bit about themselves, how they got into editing, and where they're from.
Well, I guess I get to go first. I'm Kim Autry. I am background-wise is education, so I have been doing this at the high school and the secondary level for a very long time and enjoying all of it completely, honestly. So again, I've been editing in some format, in some aspect for almost 15 years. The teacher comes out. In 2018, I had the privilege of starting my own freelance business to help others, not just students, but those that are wanting to get their stories into the world. And that's kind of what I do. I help them get their stories, get their words so that everyone else can participate and then follow along on their journeys too.
Wonderful. And Kim is here in Indiana with me. So
Well, I guess that means I'm next. So I'm Liz Tolsma. I'm I'm not too far from Kim and Melissa. I'm up in Wisconsin, so a little bit, uh, not too far away. I actually got my start in the publishing industry as an author, and then I started editing probably about 10 years ago, somewhere in that area. So I juggle writing on one hand and then editing on the other hand. And like Kim, I started in education originally years and years ago, but I was on the elementary level. So that's my.
I did not know that, Liz. I am I'm still in education, and I was an elementary teacher as well, and now I'm a curriculum director, currently still doing that and writing on the side. So that's awesome. I didn't know we had that connection.
Yeah.
So we're looking at three educators here who have branched into the writing industry. I am not surprised, to be honest, knowing the heart of a teacher and working with you too. You guys, I think that heart still carries through in your work when you're giving feedback through the editing process. So I've learned quite a bit from you guys and your feedback. So, for those aspiring authors that are watching, and it is nerve wracking to hand your piece over for someone to basically pick it apart for you. But when you get the right editors to work with, it's really quite a learning journey and it's not that scary. So, so on that note, let's just talk a little bit about what does that editing process look like from beginning to end? And it may look a little different between the two of you. So if you each want to share a little bit on that.
Go say, Liz, you want to go first because your type of editing comes before my type of editing in the process.
Right. So for the most part, I do developmental edits, author coaching, substantive edits, or content edits, depending, which publisher you work for, whatever. They have different terms of it for it. But I come in towards the beginning, and my process is I'm looking at the big picture stuff. So I'm looking at plot. Are there any plot holes? Is there good plot development? Is there good plot resolution? I'm looking at characters, same kind of thing. Is there good development with the characters? Are they likable? Are they relatable? Are they deep characters with flaws and things like that make readers really like them? And do they have a redemptive story? Setting, all the big picture kind of things. That's what I'm mostly looking for when I do my editing. And, it depends on the client that I have, how I go about it. I try to find out what each client is comfortable with and how they like to work. And that's how we work. Some is more, online or, via email back and forth. Some people I will meet with via Zoom or something like that. Some it's a combination. It just sort of depends, but that's pretty much how I go about editing.
Yeah. And I will say, so I did start with Liz first. Obviously, Kim, you're right. That's the first stop in the process, is that developmental edit, because you've got to make sure you've got a solid story before you even start getting into the nitty gritty. And Liz did an excellent job with feedback. I'm one that likes to write a novel as if it's a movie, so I had like 8 point of views. And so she helped me pare that down. And really, honestly, Liz, you helped take my writing to that next level, that step that it needed to be for my readers. So thank you.
Well, thank you. One thing that I did enjoy working with you is that you were very teachable. So when I said, sorry, Melissa, you really 8 POV characters is an awful lot in a novel. And it gets, you don't want to confuse your reader. You don't want to make them work too hard. This is relaxation. And you didn't go, well, then forget it. I'm walking away and I'm done. And you were very good and gracious and took that and internalized that. And you came back when I read it again, and there were, I can't remember, there were a whole lot less than 8. So
Yes, I think I cut it in half. I think I got it down to 4. Oh, goodness. All right. And then after I worked with Liz, I handed it off to Kim. So you want to just talk a little bit about your process?
Yes, I'm the next. Actually, I am pretty much the last of the process. I do what they call copy edit, or some people will call it line edit. But what I'm looking at is, after you've gone through all of this, I get to go in and look at, did you use the correct grammar? Did you spell things correctly and consistently the same? Did punctuation? I get to look at all the little things, and then I also look at a little bit of what they call the formatting, and that is on your paragraphs. Are they all indented, all the same amount, or do you not indent them? The spacing, did you use double space or single space? Did all your titles, your chapter titles, things of that nature, are they all basically the same font, the same size? I get to look at some of that stuff too. So I'm looking more at the end. I am the next to the last, because proofreading honestly is the last step if you're going to go the complete route.
Mhm.
If not, I'm your last step. So when I get done with it and I help you through it, you should be able to go to the next step, honestly, in the publishing process, which is formatting. And, it's also one of those, Liz kind of was saying it too, is that when we give suggestions as an editor, they are suggestions. We are not saying it has to be this way. You have to do this. No, we understand these standards for the publishing industry. We understand what is typical, or what should really look like. But the underlining thing for every editor, and I'm speaking for me basically here too, honestly, is that it's the author's voice. We are not there to change your voice. This is not our story. It is your story. And we are just here to help you make it the best it can be for you, and help you get it out there so others can enjoy it too.
Yes, and I will say, I think working with both of you, that's really how it's come across, is it's suggestions, but knowing your guys' experience and expertise, and me coming in and doing this all on my own for the first time, I really leaned into your expertise. So suggestions you gave, I really took to heart and looked at it. And there were some things where I said no to Kim. But they're really minor things, very minor things. And she's not offended by that. I know. She took that well. And yeah, so you also do formatting too, though, Kim. Like, you will
hmm
format it into what it needs to look for print and ebook as well.
Yes, I do. What I do, or what my business does, that I do I pick up after when Liz is through with you, in the nicest ways here, okay? Then I pick up and I will help with the copy edit. Then I will help you through making your book look like it should look before it goes to a printer. So yes, I will what they call interior design for a book, not your house, sorry, or formatting. And I work with you to figure out what size and everything else is the way it should look. And then I also offer services to convert your books to ebooks because there's a difference there. But then when you're ready, I'll also help you through putting it up on those platforms and pushing that publish button.
Yeah.
So
yes, Kim really has a great wraparound service to just hold your hand through the whole process, which I'm going to do with her. So, it just can be, if you're someone who's looking at indie publishing, sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking and you're not quite sure if you've got everything that you need, so it's great to have someone like Kim in your corner that's helping you through that process as well. So I have to ask this because I am not going to lie, and I don't know, Liz, how you feel. Probably not the same as me, but as an elementary teacher, I like the really basic grammar stuff because that's what I'm used to teaching. So when it gets into the higher level, I didn't like it when I was a student, and I don't like it now as an adult. So thank you both, ladies, for having a passion for this. I will gladly always pay someone to do that for me. It's just not something I enjoy. So with that in mind, what is your favorite part of editing?
you got yours, Liz? I got to think about this because it's
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer because I really enjoy all of it. Even though I do a lot of book coaching and developmental editing, I don't mind it when somebody comes to me and says, "Can you line edit or proofread this?" I do like the nitty-gritty as well. I'm a grammar nerd. I'm actually taking a class right now through the Christian Pen just to kind of brush up on my grammar and make sure I haven't forgotten anything that I really shouldn't have forgotten. It's always good to get a refresher. But I think one of my favorite things is I love helping new authors get their start and see them just on their journey and watch them grow. That's always been a lot of fun when I have somebody who really hasn't written before, who, needs to learn, maybe has the raw talent there and just needs to hone their writing skills. And I love helping them do that. And I love just, and this is probably the teacher in me because, at the elementary level too, you love, you teach them how to, I was second grade. So one of the biggest challenges teaching second grade is teaching them how to borrow when they're subtracting. That's really hard for second graders. But then when the light bulbs start going on in their heads and they start grasping that concept and being able to do it themselves, it was cool as a teacher. And I still kind of get that thrill when I work with new authors and you see the improvement and they come a long way and then they get their first book published and it's out there and it's a real thrill for me.
It is. It's almost like watching our students graduate, right? And take off into the world. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. All right, Kim, did you figure out? Did that give you some time?
Well, yeah, because now I don't have to say anything. Mine was exactly the same thing. I was just thinking, even at high school and post-secondary level, and I don't write, please, folks, I don't write at all. I am not an author. No. But just being able to be asked, say, hey, I want you to join me. I think it's an honor to be asked to join through that and then watch them. And once the big aha moment, the light bulbs and watching them grow and then that book getting out there, I tell you, it's as if I've done it myself and it's mine too, because it is just that it's that teacher, I think, that watching them grow, watching them evolve and move into their skills and learn how to use those skills and progress. It's just, I think it's the biggest gift that the new authors or any of an author that asks me to work with them gives me.
Oh, so that's really neat to hear. And it really is. That's what I'm discovering. There's so many people that have had their hands on this book before it's ever going to make it out to my readers. And I may have wrote the content, but everyone has a little bit of a piece of it as it's been passed along. So it's definitely a team effort for sure. So you talking about new authors, what would be your number one piece of advice for aspiring authors from an editor's perspective, I guess?
I think mine would be don't be afraid. Get it down. You're going to have to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, nothing's going to happen, and network. Don't be afraid to do it. There are people out there that are more than willing to help you, and the right people are there that will help you grow, get it done.
I agree with Kim 100%. It's really terrifying to put your baby out there into the world and then to think, oh, I'm going to get all of this criticism back. It still, ties my stomach into knots when I know I'm getting edits back. Like, are they going to love it? Are they going to hate it? I'm going to have a ton of work to do on this, all that. So it's scary, but just taking that leap of faith, you won't know until you give it a try and until you do it. And I think, Melissa, you actually gave a really good answer to this question yourself, because you said you would never attempt to publish without having a professional editor or a couple of professional editors working on it. And that's another big thing. And I'm not just saying it because I'm an editor and I want the business or anything like that. I'm saying it because, my mom is a huge reader and she reads a lot of indie authors, and she can tell when they've had a professional editor and it's good and it's well done. And she can tell when they've just slapped something together and thrown it up on Amazon. And so, if you want to get noticed, if you want to make sales, you're going to want to have a professional editor to look at it and to, like Melissa said, to make it the best it can possibly be. You want it to shine.
You do. And you only get one chance for a first impression with readers, right? And you want to serve your readers well. And that means you've got to go through the whole process. You can't cut corners. So, yeah. I would agree. It is nerve-wracking, but it is so worth it. And I feel like I'm working on book 2 now, drafting that one, and I can already tell just from what I've worked through with you, Liz, specifically, because I'm in the drafting stage. I can already tell I'm writing the first draft better than I did the first one. So you see all those things you learn, you end up honing as you continue to write. So that's always exciting for me on the author end to see that as well. But and I did love Kim's response. I was honestly nervous to get both your edits back from both of you, but I mean, it really wasn't that bad. And Kim wrote back when she sent it to me. She's like, I laughed, I cried, and I wanted to kill. And I was like, yes. You want to evoke those feelings in your reader. And I thought, maybe I've really got something going here. So thanks for that vote of confidence there, Kim. It was helpful.
Well, that's one of the things that I know Liz is the same way. When we work with an author, we're not going to lie to you. We're not going to do anything that's going to, I don't want to say be detrimental, but we're here to help you learn and grow. And if I'm not going to be straightforward with you, if I'm not going to tell you what I see, then how am I helping you?
Yeah. That's true. You need honesty. It's you don't really want to sugarcoat it, but you can do it nicely. And I think because you two have taught, you have a great way of approaching of not being real cutthroat with it, I guess. So, all right. Where could anyone who's watching where could they connect with you in case they're looking for an editor?
Well, Liz needs to go first because you got to talk to her first before you come to me.
That is true.
Okay, so basically just go to my website. It's Liz Tolsma, TOLSMA.com. And there's a tab on there that says, what does it say? Writing or editing? I don't visit my website very often, so I don't know. Something like that. So click on that tab and that'll give you all the information, and shoot me an email, and I'd love to work with you.
Yeah. It's kind of like when people ask for your phone number, you have to stop and think because you don't call it yourself.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would also highly recommend checking out Liz's books. Do you have one in the works right now, Liz?
I have one that I'm getting ready for it to come out. The ebook comes out on November 15th and the print book on December 1st. And it's called What I Left for You. So dual time World War II. I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Thank you.
All right, Kim.
The best way to get a hold of me is to go out on my website. It's neveralonepublishing.com. That's the name of my business. Then that will send you to different information on me, a little bit more about me, about my services, and then there's a contact us tab. And that's the best way to get a hold of me.
And Kim is fast, I will say. Well, both Liz was fast too. I was impressed with how quickly the ladies got back with me as well. And I forgot to mention, I have had the privilege of working on the board with Kim for our local ACFW chapter for the last 2 years, I think.
Mhm.
Is that right? So it's always nice. My whole goal through this whole process was to connect with local talent. And kind of just keep it local. And I was so excited to be able to get connected with you ladies. So thank you for the time that you put in on this project.
You're so welcome. I hope I'm speaking for Liz too here, but the story is really, really good. And I
Thank you.
did. There's a couple of people in there I just wanted to wring their necks
I know.
as I was going, you know. But that's the sign of a good developmental editor working with the author and the author being willing and open to suggestions. So you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Well, and
thank you.
Melissa handed me a really fantastic framework to work with. She really had the basics there, and I just helped her to pare it down from those 8 POVs a little bit. And but yeah, I loved the story from the very first as well, and I knew Melissa that you had something special there, and so I'm so excited for this book to come out, and just congratulations to you for all your hard work on this. It really shows.
Oh, thank you, ladies. I really appreciate that. And again, I appreciate your help because, like you said, Liz, I had a little bit to cut out there. So, and Kim, I think I know who you want to wring their neck, and I will say they get their comeuppance, okay? Eventually, later on in the series.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, ladies, and for sharing a little bit about what you do. And I'll be sure to put links to your websites in the blog post for this episode. So thanks.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for having me.